Hi everyone, it's Sandy and today I'm doing my February book haul. I have quite a lot of books to haul for you. I didn't do a book haul in January because I didn't buy any books, but I did end up receiving a couple books at the very end of January. And because I received it at the very end of January, I'm going to be hauling it for you guys in this book haul. In one of my videos in January, I mentioned that I received These Broken Stars by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner in like a Secret Santa book exchange, but I did end up receiving 2 more books and I didn't end up buying any books in January, which I was really surprised and proud of myself for, but then I ended up buying a lot of books in February, so that kind of makes up for not buying any books in January. I then received The Equinox by K.K. Allen, which is book 2 in the Summer Solstice series. I really enjoyed the first book, and I received the first book by the author. So in late January, I received For Real by Allison Cherry, and I received this from like the publisher for Bookbusters Read Along. This was Bookbusters January Read. This book is about a girl named Claire and her sister Miranda who auditioned for this reality TV show that's similar to Around the World just to get back at Miranda's ex-boyfriend that cheated on her. And I ended up really enjoying this book and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. So now I'm going to be doing my February book haul, and the first book that I got in February is one of my most anticipated books of the year, and that is The Ruby Circle by Rochelle Mead. This is the 6th and final book in the Bloodline series, and I finished it this month and I'll talk more about it in my wrap-up, but I love this book and it was a really satisfying conclusion. Then I got Chasing Power by Sarah Beth Durst. This is Bookbusters February read, and this is about a girl named Kayla who has telekinesis abilities, and she runs into this guy named Daniel who has the ability to teleport anywhere, and Daniel asks for her help. He doesn't really ask, he kind of threatens her for her help to find his mom who's been kidnapped. And basically they go on this big adventure, and that's pretty much what the story is about. I'm not going to say much about this book because I want to talk more about it in my February wrap-up. The next book that I got is a book that I got in Kindle, and that is Never Never by Colleen Hoover and Taryn Fisher. This was 99 cents on Kindle. And on Amazon, when you do like no rush shipping, you get like a $1 credit for ebooks or instant videos or music, and I used my promotional credit to get this book, and basically I got this for free. This book revolves around 2 characters, Charlie and Silas, and one day they just have no memories of their lives. They don't remember each other, they don't remember the friends and family. Basically throughout the story they're just trying to figure out what happened to them and trying to remember details about their lives. Last week I went to Half Price Books, and I haven't been to the bookstore in a really long time, so I decided to go with my dad, and he bought me 2 books, so that was really nice of him. Thank you, Dad, for buying me books. Normally I buy my own books, but sometimes when I go out to like bookstores, my dad would buy them for me. The first book is Crash Into You by Katie McGarry, and I really love the Pushing the Limits series, and I have been wanting to read Crash Into You for a really long time. A lot of people say that this book is their favorite, and I'm hoping that it becomes a favorite of mine. I really like Katie McGarry's writings, and I love the characters that she creates. The last book that I bought at Half Price Books is Afterworlds by Scott Westerfeld, and from what I've heard, this is basically 2 books in one. The main character, Darcy, is writing a novel, and basically in this book you get to read her actual novel and see her journey through writing it, and I think that's such a really fascinating concept. I have been eyeing this book for a really long time. When I saw this book at Half Price Books for $10, I immediately grabbed it. And this book is surprisingly heavy. It's like the weight of a textbook from school. Maybe a little bit lighter, but it's about the weight of a textbook. Now I'm going to get to the fun stuff, and that is unboxing these books. This first package is from Book Outlet, and I've only purchased 2 books, but they are 2 books that I have been wanting to get for a really long time, and I finally decided to just go ahead and buy it because one of the books I was afraid was going to go out of stock, so I just ended up purchasing it. Okay, I don't know. I'm gonna open it from the side. Okay. So the first book is Falling Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes. I've heard a lot of great things about this series, and I've heard that it's a really great series to get into fantasy. I'm not a really big fantasy reader, but I do want to read more fantasy, and I've heard this is a really good book to start off with. And the last book in this package is Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo. Ruin and Rising is the third book in the Grisha trilogy. I read the first two books and I thought they were okay. They're like 3.5 star ratings. Although they're not favorite of mine, I do want to finish the trilogy, and so when I saw this on Book Outlet for $6.99, I just added it to my cart along with Fallen Kingdoms, and I purchased it because it's the last book and I do want to know how it ends, and I want to have it on my completed series list. I've made the effort to read the first two books, might as well finish the last one. This is the last package. Okay, time to open this package. I don't want to cut the books. I'm always afraid that when I'm opening this, I'll like cut the covers of the books. Okay, so the first book is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. First off, I love the cover for this book. I love the simplicity of it. I like how the crown is like upside down and there's blood just dripping from it. I think that's so cool. And I've heard so many great things about this book. This book recently made like #1 on the New York Times bestseller, and I think that's amazing. I have seen a couple reviews, and from what I've heard, in this society there are people that have different colored bloods. People who have silver blood are like the elite. They're at the top of the social class, and people with red blood are at like the bottom, I guess. They're just normal people. And those who have silver blood have these magical abilities. And our main character, Mare, has red blood, but she ends up having these magical abilities, and that's pretty much all I know. The next book is Into the Still Blue by Veronica Rossi. This is the third and final book in the Under the Never Sky trilogy. I recently finished the second book and I loved it. I'm really enjoying this trilogy and I can't wait to finish this last book because I want to know how it ends and what happens next. And the last book of this book haul is 1,000 Pieces of You by Claudia Gray. Can we please take a moment to admire this gorgeous, gorgeous cover? Like, it's so beautiful. I love all the colors. This is definitely one of the prettiest covers I've ever seen. I don't know much about this world, but I do know that it is about alternate dimensions. That is it for my February book haul. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you read any of these books, let me know in the comments below what you thought about them. I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye!